Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new episode of Eve Echoes. Tonight on the show we're going to be talking about Highsec Islands and what do they represent. I'm gonna tell you what they represent: a goddamn menace to society, that's what they are. Jokes aside, these locations are probably the most profitable systems of New Eden. Even more profitable than nullsec if you do it correctly. So why do we call them Highsec Islands, and what are these systems actually? Well, they are Highsec systems isolated from Empire space because they only have connections to low-sec security systems. So why is this important? Well, that's mostly because of how the encounter system works. You see, when you open up the encounters panel and you go into the news, you'll get a bunch of encounters. And the algorithm just generates the locations of these encounters based on your location. And the algorithm usually picks 80% of these encounters/missions to be in Highsec, and the more profitable ones, you know, the ones that cost 6 million, 30 million, those bigger rewards encounters spawn in low-sec, and that's perfectly fine. But the ones that spawn in Highsec follow a specific guidelines. They need to spawn 1 or 2 jumps away from you, just so you won't be able to sit in one system and just continuously farm expert missions that give you a bunch of payout, like 3 million, 2.5, 3.5 in some instances, and of course around 5 million in bounty rewards. But where do these Highsec Islands come into play? Well, because they are isolated from the rest of the Empire space by a couple of jumps away, it means that all the encounters, the ones that should spawn in Highsec, don't have any other location to spawn inside the encounter menu because there are no nearby Highsec systems. So the only Highsec system is based on your location, and it's actually the system that you're inside. It's that Highsec Island specific Highsec system. As you can see, I'm in the encounter menu and I've already been given 3 tech level 10 expert missions which are located within my system. The panel speaks for itself. It's 0 jumps away. What does this mean is basically you can chain up tech level 10 expert missions one after the other. This allows you to continuously farm without having to navigate to nearby systems. You can sit in the same system and just accept mission after mission and complete mission after mission without the need of travel. And if you have a good fit and a proper ship, you can pretty much farm 25 to 30 million ISK per tick. When I say tick, it's not actually in bounty rewards like you're doing it in nullsec. I'm talking about the total amount of ISK that you generate in a 20-minute interval. So adding up the encounter rewards per completion plus the bounties that you get back for clearing these encounters can sum up to some astonishing sums of ISK. So why are these bad? Well, nullsec is supposed to be the most profitable area of New Eden. Otherwise, what would be the point of having nullsec if everyone could just sit in Highsec and generate insane quantities of ISK? So this seems to be a little bug, mostly related to how the encounters get generated inside the mission panel. Now, the opinions vary. Some say that this is really bad, and some say this is actually great. And let's talk about each side for a moment. Well, when it comes to nullsec, players in nullsec actually live there and don't have any ties to the inside world, like the Empire world, because they rely on their own resources there, and they need to be sufficient in order for them to prosper and of course to gather sufficient materials and currency so they can wage wars, they can protect their territory. While in Highsec, there shouldn't be the case of generating so much ISK that it could overshadow nullsec. Well, even lowsec. I mean, right now, lowsec is dead. It's devoid of content except for the storyline missions. But, you know, people just tend to hunt and scan people who run storyline missions, so people just tend to avoid that. And with the discovery of Highsec Islands, hundreds of players have been flocking to these specific systems to farm their own ISK in Highsec. Now, this shouldn't be actually bad. And now we're going into the why this is good, because these systems are ideal for players that, well, casual like me and just want to finish up their Concord pass in 2 or 3 days, or if they have like I don't know, 2 hours per day like me available to play per day. These systems are probably ideal for us to farm and to get a little bit of reward and to, I don't know, be able to stack up our wallets and to buy something off the market, engage into PvP, so on and so forth. Some people have suggested that, well, the encounters should be completely banned in Highsec and just spawn in low-sec like the level 10 expert ones. But if you do that, you'll take away the last remaining form of ISK generation for casual players. And if you do that, well, casual players don't have any incentive to play the game anymore. Aurora, the live server, as you may call it, currently houses around 70% casual players. If you take away from them the ISK generation that they can do in 1 or 2 hours of playtime per day, they're going to abandon the game. They can't do much. This is all they have. So how could you fix this? Well, there's a bunch of solutions that may be possible. Either limit the amount of encounters that do get spawned within a day, or reduce the payout of these encounters so that nullsec profitability actually makes sense. So which are these systems? Well, there are 4 such systems just from my knowledge. There might be more, I haven't been able to find them, but let's take a look at the map and I'll show you immediately what I'm talking about. We open up the map and we're going to search for, let's say, the most visited systems of these 4 that I mentioned. It's called Claralam and it's located in Highsec. Let's go over there. Let's take a look at where it is located. So Claralam, let's filter up by, where is it? Security level. And we have Claralam, which is a dead-end system, and it has 1 connection, 2 connections to low-sec. And this, the encounter system just tries to get the nearest location, which is at maximum best 2 systems away from your location to spawn encounters in the news panel. Now, because there are no Highsec systems along the way and nearby, all of these encounters will get spawned inside this specific system. The other ones are Katagod. Let's look it up right now. Katagod is located inside Minmatar space, and as you can see, it also has absolutely no ties to Highsec. It's a Highsec system surrounded by low-sec jumps. There's no Highsec in sight at all. So all encounters that are accessed via the news panel while being inside this system as well will get generated inside Katagod. The next best system is located inside Galente space and is called Clorteler. Let's take a look at it. And it's also a dead-end system, and as you can see, also Highsec, low-sec, and low-sec. And the nearest system is 3 jumps away, the nearest Highsec system. So this also makes it an ideal system for farming, as all the encounters will just get spawned inside Clorteler. There's another system, the system that I'm currently located in, and it's called Erzor. And Erzor here is actually not so great, but it's still good. As you've seen in the news panel, I got 3 missions, so if I just keep refreshing, once I complete those, I'll get 3 more missions and 3 more missions. The rest of them do get spawned in another Highsec system because the Erzor is located exactly 2 jumps from another Highsec system. So we've got 1 jump to low-sec and another jump exactly into Highsec. So a bunch of the encounters will get spawned inside this system in Chemilip, while half of them will get spawned inside the system I'm inside as of right now. So we talked about these systems being more profitable than nullsec and why they are bad and why they are good. But when does the good turn into completely bad? I mean, these systems are useful for casual players like me to get some ISK in their wallets and to complete their Concord Pass and so on. Well, they start to turn very ugly when farmers and bot farmers, people with multiple accounts, just come in there and swarm the place up. Clarilam currently is housing around 250 players. Some of them look like bot farms or multiboxers, and they just finish mission after mission after mission. It's a complete mayhem there. So these systems are an ISK faucet, but it starts to turn into an exploit as soon as people exploit these specific systems in the detriment of the rest of the players and, I don't know, the rest of the locations inside New Eden. Even though I'm farming inside these systems and I enjoy getting 2 hours of play, just, I don't know, finishing my Concord Pass, I did report these systems because malicious people have taken them over in the exact manner that I described earlier. So, except for Azor, which is currently empty and it's just me inside, the other 3 systems are being constantly farmed by multiboxers and farmers with multiple accounts and multiple characters. And it looks like NetEase already took some actions against these systems. I'm not sure if it's a permanent fix or it's just like something they figure out, like, we need to stop this from happening. They added some sort of mechanism. It must have been a ninja fix because some of my friends reported it to me, and I went there to investigate. And it looks like if you try to claim a mission inside one of those systems and that system has exceeded a threshold of, I don't know, 100 players, the players can no longer warp to the encounter beacons. You get a message with the gravity blah 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 blah. You cannot lock onto its warp signature. Now, this might be okay from stopping this phenomenon of taking over nullsec profitability, but it also takes away from the casual players, the casual player base, which actually comprises, as I mentioned, around 70 to 80% of the server. This is probably not the best fix. They should really think about how to tackle this. Just barring an entire system and its residents from the ability to do encounters and collect a bunch of ISK, like, I mean, the good players, the ones that don't exploit it, seems like a bad idea. I know for certain that Bradrick was dying for me to cover this topic in one of my videos, and I did. Cheers to you, Bradrick. But as I mentioned, the fix and the situation is pretty delicate. So what do you think about these Highsec Islands? Are they good? Are they bad? How would you fix them? Please drop a comment below and let me know. That's it for today. I hope you guys learned something. Thank you guys for watching. A very big shout out to my channel supporters, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.